Time to pull up a chair. We've got another great story for you today in the rLounge. Nothing screams childhood trauma quite like hearing the holy trinity of emotional manipulation. I birthed you, I raised you, and I sacrificed. Today in the rLounge, just because someone gave you life doesn't mean they know how to treat you like a human being. Part 2. Wife chose her sister over our family, I divorced her, and even her sister's family ghosted her. If you haven't seen the first part of the video, the link is in the description. Update 2. After moving out, Kathy obviously shifted with Sandra. She didn't tell her the whole truth, just that we had a fight. Downplayed the whole thing to be a typical marital spat. Didn't mention the divorce. Maybe she thought I'd simmer down or miss her and go crawling back with apologies. I guess she forgot I'd already done enough of that for years. About a month later, my lawyer couriered her official divorce papers. That's when the panic hit. Kathy called me furiously. "So this is happening?" I replied, "Yes. Please don't start this again. Don't want to discuss the reason all over." She started sobbing. I hung up. The next day, Sandra called me. I let it go to voicemail the first time. She called me again and again. By the fourth ring, I picked up. She started off innocently. "Kathy has been low for a while. Is everything all right?" Without beating around the bush, I replied, "Yes, we're divorcing." She tried to pretend she was shocked, asked me the reason. I laughed and said, "You!" Awkward silence. Then she starts off, "Look, I know things got rough between you two, but divorce? Seriously? What happened suddenly?" I sighed. "You've been in the middle of our marriage for years. This shouldn't surprise you." Her voice dropped. "What's really going on? Midlife crisis? Bored?" I replied that I have started seeing the truth of my marriage, how it was co-run by you. She sharply snapped, "Oh, come on. Don't put this on me. I didn't make you two fight." I told her it was none of her business, so why is she calling me? She took a deep breath and said, "All I'm saying is Mindy is a small girl, a teenager with raging hormones. You shouldn't take her so seriously. You can't let her call the shots." That hit me hard. How easy it was for her to dismiss my kid like that. I realized she might be manipulating Kathy in a similar way. She went on, "Didn't you see how I raised Tasha? She excels in everything. Honestly, Mindy has always been a little fragile, right? You could drop her here for a week and she can learn a thing or two from Tasha. You'll see, all your problems vanish." I lashed out at her. "This is how you've been turning Kathy against her family. Don't take your daughter seriously. Don't take your husband seriously. My daughter's not dramatic. She watched her own mother call someone else her daughter. All three of you have been a jerk to her. I can't let my baby suffer anymore. Stay away from us." She said, "You've changed, man. This isn't like you. Or maybe you're not in a good mood today. I'll call you later." I'm like, "No, don't bother, because this is what you're going to get from now on. Stay out of my life and stay the hell away from my daughter." She hung up but texted me that I should reconsider my decision, that I was blowing it out of proportion and this was a mistake that I'll regret. A few days later, Kathy showed up at the house. No heads up. Just turned up at the door looking like a wreck. Red eyes, shaky hands, tear-soaked apologies. She asked if we could talk. I let her in. She started with the same script. "I made some mistakes, but divorce was uncalled for. Maybe I didn't realize my kindness would bite me. Please give me a chance to be a better wife, a better mother." The usual. I asked if there's anything else she wanted to talk about because I'm done with these talks. She requested I put the legal stuff on hold and let her figure out the matter with Mindy first. I replied that the divorce and her relationship with Mindy are two separate things. She tried to reason that I was divorcing her because of Mindy. I gave up reasoning with her. I told her to finish off the business she was here for, and next time, check before showing up. She tried to speak to Mindy too, knocked on her door. She didn't answer. After several knocks, she cracked the door halfway. Kathy pleaded for a minute, said she missed her, that she wanted to fix things. Mindy just stood there stone-faced, and then she said calmly but firmly, "I'll talk to you only if you stop calling Tasha your daughter. Only if you choose me, and only me." Kathy went silent, looked uncomfortable, and swiftly changed this topic to, "Please don't let your anger destroy our marriage. I love you. I birthed you. I raised you. I made so many sacrifices for you." Mindy listened to the rant without any interest and then dropped the bombshell. "Do you know your so-called daughter has spread the rumor in a basketball club that I was forcing Dad to divorce you?" I was equally shocked at this revelation. Actually, Mindy and Tasha go to the same basketball class. Different batch. After Kathy was served, Tasha spread the word that Mindy was the reason we were divorcing. Mindy became the subject of the gossip. It was then I realized why Mindy was skipping the class for the last 2 weeks. I lost it. I asked why she didn't tell me about this. She broke down and said she didn't want to add to my stress, hence kept it to herself. I stared bitterly at Kathy. Heard about your perfect daughter. Now leave us alone. She stood silent for a while and then stammered, I'll speak to her. That very instant, Mindy slammed the door shut in her mother's face. Kathy stood there for a few minutes. Then, without a word, she packed up the rest of her things, one bag at a time, and left. Later, I sat Mindy down. We talked about everything. About what she's been carrying, what I've been carrying, how none of this was okay. I gave her the hope that things would get better from now on, that she should open up about her feelings during therapy. I've enrolled both of us. Separate, plus some together. I know it won't be an overnight fix. You can't uncrack what's already been broken. But maybe you can learn to live with it, heal around it. I asked her if she wants to enroll in a different basketball class. She replied, No, that's the best one. I should learn to deal with it. She's been quieter than usual, but she's calm and looks peaceful, like she knows she's safe again. That's all I've ever wanted for her, peace and happiness. As for Kathy, she signed the papers just yesterday. I don't know how she's holding up. I haven't asked. I won't ask. She made her choices, and now I'm making mine. What a mess. Honestly, good on you for holding your ground. Kathy clearly thought she could just sweep everything under the rug and you'd come crawling back like nothing happened. It's wild how people can rewrite reality in their heads and then act shocked when consequences show up at their door. Update 3. The divorce is final. We split the assets cleanly. I kept the house, not because I fought for it, but because it's where Mindy feels most at home. I paid Kathy her share of the house in cash. We divided our savings, the retirement fund, and everything else that legally needed sorting. There was no drama in that part, just cold, clinical math. But she had a surprise for me. She demanded alimony at the last moment. Huge one. Honestly, I didn't see it coming. I blinked. Really? She looked me straight in the eye and said, You made the decision. You ended the marriage. I sacrificed my life for this family. You owe me compensation. She had never been this cold. I understand her grudge. I instantly agreed without any further talk. She didn't expect an instant yes. Maybe she wanted to drag this further, but I didn't let her succeed. I paid off happily even, because that was a very small price for the peace Mindy and I had earned. She wasn't done yet. Filed for joint custody. I saw red, but stayed quiet. I let the court handle it. I told Mindy what was happening and asked if she wanted to say anything. She didn't hesitate. In that courtroom, my daughter sat across from her mother and calmly dismantled her. Spoke like someone much older than her age. Made it clear that she didn't want her to have custody, didn't want Kathy to decide anything for her, didn't want Kathy to call, text, or show up. She was very clear that she didn't want to do anything with her. The judge asked her to elaborate. She did. She's been calling my cousin her daughter right in front of me. She compares me to her. Gave her the camera I was saving for. Took over my birthday. Made me feel invisible and worthless in my own home. And when I finally said something, she called me dramatic and hormonal. Then her niece told everyone at my basketball club that I broke up their marriage. Still, she chose her over me. She looked over at Kathy and said, You never chose me, Mom. So now I'm choosing me. Kathy broke down, pleaded with the court, saying, She's just a child. She's confused and upset. Please don't let her decide this. She's not old enough to understand the consequences. She's not an adult yet to decide for herself. The court didn't see it that way. Mindy might not be legally an adult, but she's a grown-up in her own right, and she was clear and in control of her thoughts. Kathy's plea was dismissed and visitation denied unless Mindy wants it. Custody stays with me. The case is finally closed, and we both are happier than ever. Mindy spent the summer with my parents on their farm with horses, goats, and chickens. She mucked stables, fed chickens, and picked tomatoes from the garden. My dad says she's got the calm of her grandma and the stubbornness of me. She came back glowing, freckled and sunburned and full of stories. She said she had the best summer ever. Kathy never let her spend time at my parents', saying it wasn't safe for her to be with animals. A few days back, she barged into my room and in her usual teenage fashion announced, I made you a dating profile. I blinked. You did what? She grinned. You need to give love another shot, Dad. You're not that old. She had been asking me to start dating after her mom moved out. I was stalling it. I wasn't ready and definitely not any young enough for dating kind of energy. I laughed harder than I had in months. She wasn't kidding, though. She showed me the profile. I'll admit, she picked some flattering pictures. Made me sound like less of a grump than I am. What she wrote about me in my profile made me blush so hard. I admit, I have started feeling young. I've joined the gym on her insistence. I've met a couple of women. Coffee dates. Nothing panned out yet. I'm taking it slow. not looking for anything serious. For now, I'm just learning how to be a whole person again. Mindy's doing well in therapy. So am I. We're not healed, not fully, but we're healing, day by day. I'm so proud of how gallantly she handled the situation in the basketball class. She didn't give up. She put Tasha in place without being mean. That's the update for now. Mindy's an absolute powerhouse. For her to sit in that courtroom and speak her truth like that takes guts most adults don't even have. She's not just healing, she's growing into someone who knows her worth, and that's huge. You've clearly built a safe space for her to find her voice. Update 4. This one got interesting. Hang in there. So a few days ago, Mindy came to me and spilled something so casually which was not so usual. In her basketball club, someone from Tasha's circle informed her that Sandra and Tasha have pretty much sidelined Kathy brutally. Apparently, they've been referring to her as clingy and needy since the divorce. Tasha, in particular, said she didn't want to be around a weepy divorcee because it ruins the vibe. Real classy, right? Kathy sacrificed everything for them, only to be iced out by them. At first, I laughed it off and dismissed it to be just teen gossip or some stretched out rumor. But then Mindy is a curious teenager. She stalked Tasha's profile. And yeah, she was right. Picture after picture of their vacation, dinners, hangouts, weekend outings, cafe dates, houseplants, smoothies, yoga, all over their stories. Captions like, us, perfect duo, perfect family, mom and me. Kathy wasn't in any of them. Not even one. They're living their lives like Kathy never existed. Until a few months ago, this woman was their emotional rock, their daily crutch. Now she was a ghost. Tasha has started working part-time at a local cafe downtown. Sandra's been flaunting her daughter's work ethic to whoever will listen. Social media stories of Tasha in her apron, wiping tables, handing out coffees with a fake smile and curated captions like, raising an independent queen. And who's standing behind the camera, beaming like a proud mom? Sandra, not Kathy. From her first salary, they'd gone on a vacation to some beach town and a few hours away, posting all over their social feeds. Not a sign of Kathy. I remember there were barely any vacations where I could manage to drop Sandra from the plan. Otherwise, Kathy wouldn't go without them. Kathy had her birthday last month, but there was no post about her, not even a courtesy tag. Earlier, Tasha used to write a heartfelt post expressing love and gratitude for Kathy and how grateful she was for everything she did for her. Tasha used to worship Kathy, now resents her. As an adult, you see stuff. Maybe smile, but quickly move on. Teenagers don't process pain that way. They feel it deep and raw, and sometimes they don't filter their reactions. Mindy showed these pictures to me and said, she picked them over us and really thought they'd pick her, but karma came back to her, with an eye roll. I didn't say much. What was there to say? She was right. Next thing I know, Mindy tells me Kathy showed up at her school. When she was coming out of the school, Kathy was waiting outside. Mindy saw and ignored her. Kathy ran towards her and asked for a minute. She was desperate. I expected Mindy to shut her down or say she walked away, ignored her, or made a scene. But no, she said she agreed to talk to her. Sat with her at the nearby park and heard her out. Bravo. Said she felt like, this time, Kathy actually sounded genuine and remorseful and wasn't apologizing just for the sake of it. Said Kathy looked different. Not just tired, but stripped down, empty and broken. She said she didn't come with excuses this time, just quiet regret. Told her how she regrets ruining our marriage over Sandra and Tasha and how she let them wedge into our lives. How she thought they'd be her support system after the split. How she never imagined the people she had defended, protected, and prioritized would ice her out like this. She admitted she couldn't undo the past, but she was hopeful, maybe, she could try to get a second chance as a mother. Mindy's reply was swift and cold. That's not happening. I'm happy with Dad. And why are you telling me all this? What's the point? What happened to your eldest daughter and your mother-like sister? Kathy broke down and started spilling everything, hoping to collect some sympathy points from Mindy. Turns out that once the divorce process initiated, Sandra sat Kathy down and told her she needed to find her own place as they weren't set up to house her permanently. Kathy was shocked, genuinely blindsided. Back when Sandra's marriage ended, Kathy stepped up, paid her rent, covered utilities, watched Tasha when Sandra had to work doubles. She was practically a second mother to Tasha, picked her up from school, covered her tuition gaps, took her to the doctor when Sandra couldn't get off work, cooked meals, all of it, checked upon Sandra, visited her daily while ignoring the responsibilities as a mother and a wife. She expected the same in return, bare minimum, a place to stay, some support and comfort. Instead, Sandra and Tasha ghosted her, cold turkey. Kathy said she moved out quietly and gave them the space, hoping they'd realize they owed her some kindness and loyalty. She didn't text them for a week, thinking it would make them miss her. They didn't. She saw Sandra's post about Tasha's job, was badly hurt. Kathy was the one who referred Tasha for that job, and when she got it, they didn't even inform Kathy. She was devastated and kept it to herself, hoping they'd come around. However, her loneliness broke her resilience, and she called them pretending to check in and ask if they were free to meet up. That's when they found out about the vacation. They didn't even inform her they were going. Forget about the invite. Even after they returned, they stayed distant, ignored her texts and calls. Tasha would outrightly decline her calls and send her texts that she was busy at work and at college. Same case with Sandra. She sometimes would answer the call disinterested and annoyed, would ignore the talks related to meetups, stall it, or make excuses of next week, which never came. After Kathy poured it all out, Mindy just looked at her and said flatly, "Yeah, I heard. Tasha says she doesn't want to be around a weepy divorcee and that you're a total buzzkiller." Kathy burst into tears. Not the manipulative kind, actual remorseful ones. Maybe the first time she really felt alone. The first time she realized what it's like to be on the outside looking in. Held Mindy's hands, cried, and said sorry. She said she had no one left in her life, was lonely and missed Mindy, that she just wanted one thing left in her life that felt real. Mindy didn't yell or cry, just replied to her calmly, "We don't hold grudges. You don't need forgiveness from us. We're not mad. We just don't care anymore. You don't exist in our lives." That hit harder than any scream ever could. It was brutal. She told her that me and Dad are complete. "We laugh now. We talk. We're complete. And I've grown up. I don't need a mother anymore. Dad might even find a wife soon. He's killing it in the dating game. I'm excited to meet his girlfriend. We don't need you." And then, looking her straight in the eye and asked, "What about you? Found someone better than Dad yet?" Kathy didn't respond. She just howled. I can only imagine what that did to her. Whatever pride or hope she walked into that school with, Mindy stripped it harsh. But when you've been pushed to the edge, you don't come back speaking politely, and that's what happened between them. After listening to her rant, I told her one thing though, that she shouldn't hold grudges anymore. She doesn't want her. That's okay, but it shouldn't bother her, not even subconsciously. And if possible, she should actually try to forgive her mom and move on. It was tough for me to make her understand that it was still possible to forgive her and remain no contact. We forgive others for our own peace and not for them. I want to ensure that her childhood trauma doesn't haunt her adulthood. She nodded like she understood. I know it was too mature a thing for a 14-year-old to absorb, but still as a parent, my job is to wipe out all bitterness from her heart. I smirked and said that bit about the girlfriend wasn't called for. I reminded her that I wasn't dating anyone seriously. She shrugged. "Yeah, but it landed. She needed to hear it." She's right. Kathy did need to hear it, that I had moved on. And the truth is, I am seeing someone I met recently. She's kind and a good listener. Also divorced and healing. We've had a few dinners, a movie, and long walks. It's nice. Sweet, steady, nothing dramatic. But girlfriend? Nah, not yet. Still figuring things out. Mindy knows that. She just wanted to land a punch where it would hurt most. And honestly, I get it. She thought if a lie helped hammer home a little truth, it's cool. So that's where we are. Mindy's done great in therapy, killing it at school, still the strongest, clearest-headed person I know. And Kathy? I don't know. I haven't heard from her since and don't even want to. She got what she deserved. Mindy handled it like someone from far beyond her years. Her response wasn't cruel. It was clear, honest, firm, and maybe that's exactly what Kathy needed to hear. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for someone who betrayed you is to let them feel the silence they left you in. You're right to guide her toward forgiveness, though. Not for Kathy's sake, but for her own peace and freedom. Also, that girlfriend line? Ruthless delivery. But it hit exactly where it needed to. Have you ever watched someone choose the wrong people over you, only to come back after getting burned? Did you let them in again? Or close the door for good? Thank you for joining us today in the rLounge. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. Until next time. And please put your chair back where you found it.